Welcome to Tech Tuesday, where we bring you technology insights that power the equipment finance industry.
I'm Kate Henley, and welcome to Tech Tuesday. Today we're talking credit automation, how it's not just about faster approvals, but also about making smarter decisions and managing risk. Here are 5 essentials every credit leader should keep in mind.
Kicking off today's discussion, here's Christian Dolan, the CEO of NorthTech.
This webinar is going to focus on 5 essentials every leader should understand when building and refining a credit automation strategy. Note that I didn't say credit scoring or credit scorecard. That's only a component of it, but we're really going to take a step back and also look at just what is your credit strategy? What's your go-to-market strategy?
Defining our risk appetite. Here to help us understand what that means is Dan Thompson, a risk leader at Capitus Equipment Finance.
It starts with kind of, for me, defining your risk appetite. Where do you want to live relative to what is your sales strategy? What are you pursuing? We say a lot, essential use revenue generating equipment, and that doesn't have to be hard assets anymore. When I started, it was always just kind of a hard asset. That's what you went. But that essential use revenue generating, and then you determine, again, your risk appetite from there. What do you want that borrower to look like? I mean, everybody can, I think, generally speaking, easily identify that a customer, but it's the B's and C's where people start to have different takes on it. Can you make a C a B, or do you just better protect yourself on a C? So in other words, it's always going to be a C credit, but you put in some rules around how to approve a C. And you don't necessarily have to do something that makes a C a B, but you just have to understand what is the risk associated with approving a C, and then that leads into rate.
Continuing the conversation, let's hear from Nate Carey, the Director of Operations at Geneva Capital.
For us at Geneva, we believe one of our differentiating factors is our people. We want our people in that process at certain steps. And so we don't want to automate everything. We call it assisted automation. Automate the things that can be faster, but without losing your differentiation, which in our case is the people. I think that's important when we talk about strategy. It's knowing who you are. Are you shooting for the online shopping experience where it's truly touchless? The customer is just clicking through everything without interacting with human intervention. I think you have to start bigger picture than just credit strategy, and what is your business strategy? What is your go-to-market? And then how does your credit strategy fit into that?
Once your strategy and risk appetite are clear, the next step is enabling your team with the right tools. That starts with the right scorecard and a clear plan to use it effectively.
They like to start with the low-hanging fruit, right? Identify the deals that just can be, quite frankly, auto-declined or auto-syndicated in some cases as well, or be auto-approved. You do need to build scorecards that are unique per product, unique per equipment type, unique per geography. Not saying everyone needs to be unique, but you need to take these factors into consideration. So you've got to treat your scoring model as an evolving model. You've got to use feedback and performance data to make incremental improvements. Automation is not a single switch on and let it go. It's more of a gradual ongoing process. Shadow scoring, side-by-side testing, phased rollouts to measure accuracy and redefine rules before you flip on the switch and just start approving or even declining a bunch of deals.
And so we did the retro, and they took our guidelines, and I think we ran like 7,000 contracts through it, good, bad, indifferent, declines, withdrawn, and all that stuff. And we really kind of focused. So there was a population, like Adam was talking about, everything that we approved that their retro said you should have approved, everything that we declined that their retro said we should have declined. And we kind of focused on the outliers. What did we decline that they approved, and what did we approve that they would have declined? And we kind of focused on that to try to determine what was the difference. And ultimately, what we did is we ran parallel, with the idea that the card really was meant to drive behavior.
So obviously, fraud is a big one that sometimes gets mixed into credit scoring and automation. My guess is syndication, and I use that term broadly. You guys are probably selling some deals back into the market. There's discounting and securitization considerations as well as you're building out this automation. And then on the reverse side, there's probably how do you think about portfolio purchases? Because that's a big portion of strategy, getting assets under management a lot of times.
Those are 5 essentials that can help make credit automation work smarter for your team. For a deeper look, check out the full webinar or visit northtech.com.
Thanks for tuning in to Tech Tuesday, tech insights that power equipment finance. To learn more about how North Tech is transforming automation across the industry, visit northtech.com.